them to take a stand, so to show that I'm not all alone.
All right.
I was struck by being asked the host. As you can see, I stumbled, wasn't sure.
That's all right.
That's only because I hadn't done it. But on the other side of the coin, I'm very sure, very positive, and I know what I'm doing. Now, that's just to say that we all have to travel a long road. It's a learning curve. We're all at different levels of awareness and unity. What struck me this year about Kwanzaa was, you take unity. What is the definition of unity? Many times we don't ask ourselves, what do you mean by unity? What do you mean by collective economics? What do you mean by we're together? What do you mean by African people? We could have all the people in here a difference of opinion. Now, how do we get unity out of that? I look around this world in the last 50 years and I've become aware. I'm older than that, of course, but that's not the point. The point is I don't see much change. I see we're still here. You know, they got raid for roaches and decon for rats and all that other stuff, but they got nothing for here. The brother Tahaka was talking about the bombs and said, we're not killing anybody. All the brothers and sisters that have been mentioned, that have been killed particularly by the police, were unarmed. I lived in New York City for a number of years. I remember Eleanor Bumpers, Michael Stewart, Yvonne Smallwood, and so on and so forth. Then you have Diallo, Sean Bell, 50 bullets for 2 people. Who's afraid of who? Who's zooming who? You know, we've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, as Malcolm said. Why? Because we in Dory Miller, we read. We understand the tradition of arms. Nicholas Johnson. Amos Wilson talks about black on black crime. All this has to do with Kwanzaa. It hit me like a ton of bricks. But we first have to be unified within.
Yes.
Mind, body, spirit. If you don't have that, then what are you going to unify on? We all want the same things. But more importantly, when I looked at the history of America, this is a violent place.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Always have been, always will.
Yes, sir.
We have to fight for what you want.
Yes, that's right.
But Brother Ron Carreno, when I lived in California, I remember him saying, you buy what you want, you beg for what you need. That tells me your economics is not too good. So, collective economics, break the word down. What does collective mean? It means together, doing things joint. We're all here collectively right now. But the issue is, can we move out of this room, do something about all that we talk about? Economics. What's the definition of economics? Of course, we use Webster. We use the slave master's language. That's why we don't know nothing. Think about how we got here. And think about what that means. And it's simply that there's never a time since the kidnapping at gunpoint. There again, we're unarmed. I didn't know there was a time when it took almost a year for the slaves that were rounded up to get on the ship. Think about what their lives was during that year, being uprooted, getting the whip, getting beaten, starved. There's never a time to endure the middle passage. How many have seen that picture of the slave, the bottom of the slave shirt? Most of us have seen it. We couldn't live in that today. They survived that for over 2 months. We lost, you hear many times, the Holocaust. They lost 6 million Jews. Making light of that. We lost 100 million. So, here we are. Fast forward. We hit the shores. They still expected us to be virile and the women to be fertile, to produce little economic units called children. They profited, Brother Tahaka, and that is poetry, has said it all.
Yes.
The question is, what are you going to do about it? 2 years ago, I wouldn't touch a firearm. However, I was in the military. I'm willing to die for this country, die for this idea, this concept, this dream, this illusion. Come back from the war, it was like it was when I left. My father fought in the Second World War. In 1946, I was 6 years old. My father couldn't buy a house in America where a German who they just fought 2 years ago could. You know, you've heard the redlining, blackballing, all the things that keep us economically from progressing. It isn't that we didn't try. And more importantly, when the recent thing in Ferguson, I recently reading a book called Never the Time. 1917 had one of the biggest race riots in America. You don't even know about it. Right there in Ferguson. 400 blacks were hired to replace striking whites. And the white mob turned on the black. Tore them off the bus, beat the hell out of them, burned their houses, shot them as they were coming out. Why? Because they were alive. We believe in America. I do too. But you step on my toe and see what happens.
Oh yeah.
So when we arrived, we were a bunch of mixed up nuts. We were struggling for survival. Well, what are we doing right now? We're still struggling for survival. And here it comes down to the collective economics. The thing hit me. I had $50 yesterday. I got $30 today. I'm missing $20. Which number is most important? Which number is most important? You can respond.
30.
45. No. Everybody fails. No. That's
30.
We don't know economics. It's simple. I had 50. I spent 20 on nonsensical things for the most part, and I got $30. So the most important money that I have is the $30.
That's right.
This is called microeconomics. Macroeconomics, they talk about trillions of dollars spent here and there, and bombs and all this for the war and the military book. I could care less about that. Why? I just care about what I got in my pocket. $30. That's what I can work with. Now, I'm not going to waste it on gambling. This is me. I don't waste it on gambling, playing the lottery, or numbers, and none of that kind of stuff. Because you're just giving your money away.
That's right.
In hopes that you will win.
Yes.
I don't live in hope. I live in certainty.
Yes.
I don't quit certainty for hope. I know what I need to know to protect myself, my family, and my property.
Come on now.
Now, never the time that we stop fighting for somebody else. I fought in the war, taught me how to train and kill, come back home. You tell me I can't get a firearm, I can't get this, I can't get that. Well, how can I protect myself? The criminal element is allowed of our people to run wild, unchecked. They need that for the prison industrial complex.
Yes, sir.
Right.
So the police tell you we can't protect you. Who's going to stand in front of my house 24/7? When the criminal breaks in the house, and home invasions is new, they break into your house. I don't, if you call 911, what y'all do?
Forget it.
What do you do when the bull meets the matador? Oh, I should have took that course. I should have got me a, and it's too late. We have the opportunity to take care and protect ourselves to survive now. If you don't move on it, you're not going to have it when you need it. When the snowstorm happened, man, I gotta go to the store. You can't get to the store. Why? You heard they gave you a warning. The warnings are there. If you don't listen, you don't get it. That's why we are as divided as we are in some aspects. But in all of that, we're really unified. Now, never the time when each one teach one. We talk about young people. These are our future.
Yes, sir.
When I did teenage pregnancy counseling in the Bronx, I had a 12-year-old that was pregnant. I didn't know what to say. I mean, the mother was there, but she didn't know much either. You know, but 12 years old, her life is already shot. Give it up for adoption or get an abortion. Those aren't the answers. The answers come from within. To give the values, as we talk about in Kwanzaa, the values that you have for things, you will take care of it. I love my wife dearly. I keep her in my heart all the time because that's where I keep my values.
Well,
And I don't forget that. My son, my daughter, my grandchildren, these are my responsibility. And if I don't take the means to protect them, who will? So, the bottom line is, it's up to you. It's up to you. So I'm going to wrap this up with, for all these years, there are two educations you can give yourself. One you get from the environment, as we do now, and the other is more importantly, the one you give to yourself. You've got to read. Reading is the key to the dungeon.
yeah.
You don't read, as I told my son, this is how you, if you learn how to count, they can't touch you. So if you know your history, then they can't beat you. You know? So you know what to do. After all that we've endured, the brutality, the injustice, the hanging, the tar and feather, the rape, the murder, the genocide of our people, it can't be done because we're the strongest people in the world.